So that was, of course, the fantastic bass line by Nathan Watts on Stevie Wonder's classic I Wish. Now, it's a great bass line. You've probably heard it a gazillion times, but when you really kind of analyze it and transcribe it, you'll notice there's some really great techniques harmonically going on here, as well as some really great techniques as far as how the notes are articulated, and also the time feel is really bouncy and laid back. So it's a really great study. So what I've done here is I've analyzed or transcribed a couple of choruses for you. There's a document for you to download with a full analysis of what's going on, and an MP3 of a drum track that follows the transcription, so you can practice some of these techniques. So let's break down the bass line now. You might want to download the document or have it in front of you so you can follow along with the lesson here. So the first 4 bars is where the verse comes in, where the vocals come in, and it's basically over 2 chords. It's this repetitive bass line, and the chords are E flat minor 7 for 2 beats and A flat 7 for 2 beats. All right, and you might notice that the bass notes are really staccato, really nice and bouncy. So the way you can get this technique is just really by letting go with the left hand, taking pressure off as soon as you play the note, but leaving the finger over the string so it kind of deadens the sound. So one thing you can do is just practice that chromatically all over the fingerboard. You can have a metronome on and really kind of work on your time feel and just get it nicely laid back into the pocket. So let's look at the harmonic analysis now of this bass line. We'll just look at the notes first. So it's really kind of spelling out the harmony nice and clear. So it starts on the root of E flat minor 7, followed by the flat and third, followed by this A flat, which is just basically a passing tone to the 5th. So it's root, flat third, 4, 5, and then the A flat, 7, root, 3, and the rest of the notes are just a chromatic approach up to the root again of E flat. And then the next half of the cycle, it's just a repeat, but this time basically just changing the octave of where the notes are. So the fingering pattern is definitely worth checking out. It opens up some position shifts and just a way of thinking to help you move around the instrument generally. So I like to start with the E flat on the 6th fret of the A string with my 4th finger. And you can get this G flat with the 2nd finger or your 1st finger. And then this A flat with the 4th finger. And then basically when you play that C on the 3rd fret of the A string, I like to use my 1st finger because it really helps open up a position there. And then you can play the rest of the pattern in that position. So that 4, 1, 4, 1. You know, that's a really good shift there, and it's going to help you kind of get into the cycle of this bass line. Now, there are a lot of ghost notes that are played in the transcription. I definitely recommend that you buy this track and really kind of listen out for where he's playing those ghost notes. It just really helps the energy and the momentum of the line. You know, there's a one there straight off the bat that's played sometimes the E flat to G. You can just kind of hold over the B flat there and just deaden the note. And again there, going into the A flat. So just check out those, and there's going to be a couple of examples of those also in the document. Okay, let's look at the next 4 bars, which is just basically a repeat until we get to the 8th bar. And it's just a very, very slight variation, and we're just kind of walking our way up to the pre-chorus or the B section. So it's A flat, G, and it's just a chromatic walk all the way up to that B flat chord. Okay, so let's now look at the B section. I'll play it for you first. The notes are a little bit more legato here, but it's got a nice kind of bouncy swing feel. It's really good. It's a really good walking bass line. So it's just a B flat chord, root passing tone to the 3rd degree, so it's B flat C D, back to the B flat, the C up to the F chord, so it's a C, up to this F minor, so it's C, D, and then it's just a chromatic approach from there to the F. From the F to the A flat, so it's F, chromatic approach to the F, now a chromatic approach to the A flat, this A flat minor. And then from the A flat, again it's doing the same thing, so it's A flat, chromatic approach to the A flat, and then a chromatic approach back to the B flat. But then plays the B flat down the octave. Repeats. Now it's this F minor all the way up to B flat. Chromatic approach, so it's F, G, and then chromatic all the way to the B flat. So this is a really good example of a walking bass line. Once you're at the chord, then it's about targeting the next one. And it just does a triplet there from the B flat, and then I just like to kind of rake across the A and the E string using ghost notes. You can just use your first finger or your second finger, whatever. Just rake across those strings and just leave them nice and percussive. And that'll take you back into the verse. So let's finally look at this little breakdown section. So it's over E flat minor, so the chord tones, just root, flat 7 root, bar 2, it's just the flat 3rd targeting the 5th. You know, it's a really good example of how important the chord tones are, and just using notes to either chromatically approach them or using diatonic passing tones. So here it's flat 3rd, and that A flat is a passing tone, it's a diatonic passing tone, just approaching that 5th. Flat 7, flat 3rd, root, just targeting the root there. And this is just kind of a little fill starting from the flat 7th. Just really kind of targeting that 3rd degree there. Just doing a little triplet from the A flat to the A to the A flat. But it's just really all about targeting that 3rd degree. And then it starts the pattern again. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and just keep an eye out for next week's lesson where we'll be looking at another bass line and an opportunity for you to win a free month inside the Tony Great Bass Academy.